As you may know from our last video, FATF has some recommendations that countries use to counter the risks of money laundering and terrorist financing. We covered a few in part 1 and I'm back with part 2 of this series today so we can cover some more of the FATF recommendations. But before we dive into it, if you are finding valuable my videos, make sure you subscribe to FinCrime Agent and press the thumb up. This will make it super easy for you to consume new videos when going live on my channel, and it will allow me to create more contents for you. Now, with the housekeeping done, let's jump right into today's video. Hi and welcome to FinCrime Agent. This is my YouTube channel where every week I publish a new video to boost your awareness about AML and financial crime prevention. First of all, let's start off with a brief introduction about what exactly the FATF recommendations are. Well, FATF, or the Financial Action Task Force, sets international standards that are aimed to fight against the risk of terrorist financing and money laundering. The most notable one of their effort is the series of money laundering and terrorist financing recommendations that were established originally in 1990 and modified later on in 2001 and throughout the years. Anyway, this is part 2 of the FATF recommendation series, so if you still want a broader introduction about the FATF and their recommendations, use the link in the video description right above to watch the first part, as today we'll be covering some more of those recommendations. We covered the first 8 recommendations in the last video, so for part 2 let's start from the 9th recommendation. This recommendation is very self-explanatory, so I won't spend too much time to re-elaborate on it, and I will be quoting instead the exact FATF text, as the description that was provided is very short. In the 9th recommendations, they state that countries should ensure that financial institution secrecy laws do not inhibit implementation of the FATF recommendations. Moving on, the 10th recommendations talk about customer due diligence, or CDD. CDD is meant to evaluate how much risk financial institutions face from any current or new customers. This means that all potential customers or current customers should be clearly observed and ranked on how high or low risk they might bring of money laundering and terrorist financing. In simple words, whenever a new relationship is to be formed with a customer or a specific type of transaction has to take place, all doubts needs to be removed and due diligence measures have to be taken. Next up, the 11th recommendations, which focuses on record keeping. That means all financial institutions in FATF covered countries need to maintain all transaction records for a minimum of 5 years. This includes both domestic and international transactions. These records can be used as evidence if any criminal activity takes place. Besides transactional records, this recommendation also states that all financial institutions must keep copies of official identification documents and any account files. And these files need to be kept even after the business relationship has ended for at least 5 years. Also, if needed, these records should be made available to any domestic authorities. So what are your views on the FATF recommendations I have stated so far? Do you think those are broadly followed by the industry? Would a revision be useful anytime soon? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And with that being said, let's get back to some more recommendations to cover in this video. The 12th recommendation focuses on politically exposed persons, or PEPs, and how to handle them. Before talking about the recommendations, let's take a moment to explain what PEPs are. Well, they are individual persons that is notable for public position. Considering they are in a prominent position, it means they have a higher chance of getting money through illegal means and therefore commit money laundering in some shapes or forms. To deal with that, FATF 12's recommendation states that all financial institutions in all countries that are in scope should implement customer due diligence measures for any foreign PEPs that are measured to that type of risk. That means all PEPs should be carefully monitored, and a risk-based approach should be taken against any foreign PEPs. Let's move forward to the 13th recommendation. This one focuses on correspondent banking. This recommendation targets all financial institutions that are in a relation to cross-border correspondent banking or any other relationships like that. These financial institutions, of course, need to perform the normal CDD process, but additionally, they're also required to take numerous other measures. These measures include gathering adequate information about every respondent institution to completely understand their business and understanding whether it has been subject to any money laundering or terrorist financing investigation. Moreover, these financial institutions also need to evaluate the respondents' controls regarding money laundering and terrorist financing, get approval from senior management before getting into a relationship with any new correspondent, and they need to completely understand what each institution is responsible for. Lastly, these financial institutions also need to ensure that the respondent bank has carried out CDD on every customer, and if requested, CDD information can be easily made available to the correspondent bank. Let's proceed forward to the 14th recommendation now. This talks about money or value transfer services. Here, FATF recommends all countries to take measures that ensure that any people that provides money or value transfer services must be registered and must have a license. If any natural or legal person is found to be provided money or value transfer services without a license, appropriate sanction should be applied on them by the proper authorities. Next up, the 15th recommendations, which is focusing on new and advancing technologies. For that, FATF recommends that all countries should clearly understand how criminals make use of advancing technologies, especially in the case of financial crime. This means that every time a new technological product is to be released, its risk should be evaluated and appropriate measures should be taken to reduce the risk as much as possible. With these recommendations, there is also a note which is regarding cryptocurrency and other digital assets. It states that all countries should also apply a risk-based approach to these assets. Moving on, the 16th recommendations covers the risk of money laundering and terrorist financing involved in wire transfers. FATF here recommends that all countries should make sure that all financial institutions have the accurate originator and receiver information and any other required mandatory information for the wire transfer that are taking place through their network. Financial institutions also need to make sure that this information is available with the wire transfer throughout the payment chain. Basically, all financial institutions need to completely be able to monitor wire transfer and the details to ensure that if any transfer misses any required information, appropriate measures must be taken by the involved institution. Finally, for this video, let's talk about FATF 17's recommendation. This talks about reliance on third parties. It states that all countries should give permission to financial institutions to rely on third parties to perform any CDD measures that are mentioned in the 10th recommendation. But these third parties need to meet the specific criteria of FATF. This criteria includes that the financial institution should take appropriate steps to make sure that the third party should make any relevant documents relating to the CDD process available as soon as they are asked for. Also, the third party should be regulated and supervised by the financial institution. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, do let me know in the comments down below your feedback on all these FATF recommendations. Also, more parts of the FATF recommendation series will be coming out soon, so make sure to press the bell icon so you can get notified and won't miss out on them as soon as they are released. And with that, I come to the end of today's video. If this video was useful to you, you can show your appreciation and support my channel by subscribing to FinCrime Agent and press the thumb up on this video. Also, remember to check the description of this video to find useful links, including how to become part of our community on patreon.com/fcagent. And lastly, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and until next time, see you soon.